Alright, what I'm going to do now is actually try and make the eye blend in a bit more to the background, and to do that I'm going to try and use the layer blend mode, which is this word normal here and the list of options underneath there. So what I'm going to do, I've got the Nikelback cover here next to the image so I can see it and see what works best, making sure I've got that next to me all the time. And I'm going to sort through these different options here, and remembering Shift and plus will help me sort through and see if any of them work. They all make it blend in a fair bit, which looks effective, but perhaps a little bit of the intensity of the eye is lost. So what I'm going to do, just make the eye stand out a bit more, is actually duplicate it several times. So if I go Command J, you can see the way it becomes more dynamic. And after doing it 3 times, I quite like the look of it like that. I like the way it's perhaps a little bit different to the Nickelback one, but I actually like the way it interacts with the background now. So I'm just going to leave it like that. So it took me 3 layers on top of each other. Alright, what I'm going to do now is merge those layers. So if I go Shift and press, and by holding down Shift save all of those, I'm going to go Command E and merge those together so that the eye is actually as it is now. Why I want to do that is so I can actually lighten the pupil part of the eye a bit more, this part, and also add some more intensity of color into this part of the eye over here. So the way I'm going to do that again is to add a layer mask. But instead of actually the layer mask purely as it is, I'm actually going to create a new fill or adjustment layer by clicking here and click on levels. Because I've selected the adjustment from down the bottom here, it's going to actually allow me to adjust it as an actual as a layer mask, so that way I can actually brush out the parts of this that I don't want. So now with a black brush, I'm going to brush back in the rest of the artwork, everything except for the actual pupil. So just making my brush bigger by using the bracket key next to the P key, and just brush everything back in except for the actual inside of the eye. So you can see what I've done over here. I've actually made everything else except for that part of the eye darker, or brushed it in so the actual layer marks doesn't affect it, and therefore made that part of the eye lighter. Alright, what I'm going to do now is work a little bit more in the background, add some of these darker areas, and to do that I'm going to just throw a few layers over the top of these things. So I'm going to go Shift Command N, or the way to do that, another way to get a brand new layer, because that's what I did. You see there a brand new layer was created. Have to excuse me doing it. The computer's going a bit funny there. Another way to do that is just go Layer, New Layer, but Shift Command N is the quickest way. And using my paint bucket, I'm going to choose a new color here, and when the color selector is open, you can actually take the eyedropper and click on anything and it will actually pick that specific color. So it's gone and picked this kind of red, and I'll click OK, and then with a new layer that's open I'm going to click and make it all that particular red, and now again I'm going to make it merge in a little bit, so Shift plus. The reason it was not cycling through the layer blend modes then is because it was doing it to the paint bucket up the top here. So I'm just going to swap to the move tool, and then now when I go Shift plus, it will siphon through the different layer blend modes. So I quite like that. But what I'm going to do is add a layer mask to it, and now again, like before, I'm going to brush it all back so it only stays in parts of the image, specifically the top part. Like it is up here. I recommend you do that particular technique with the green, perhaps some black, and the purples down in this part of the image as well, but I don't really have time to go through those specific parts, so you will add those to your particular one.